And good afternoon once again. Today is May 3rd, 2023. This is recording 516, entitled, Be Still and Witness. Be still and witness. You know, the thing that just popped in my head was when I watched these action movies, you'll notice Superman, Batman, and whatnot, when the chaos starts happening, everybody on the streets, you notice they just stop right in their tracks and look to see what's going on. They are being still and witnessing. Now, this is not what God means when he says, be still and witness. Did you see what God did? No. When you get to the place where you can be still and witness what God is doing, guess where that's going on? It's going on within you. It stops you, your sensations, from perceiving what's going on out here. What scripture backs that up? Judge not by the appearance. So the moment that you start to bring about contemplation or conclusion or execution of some plan based on what you're looking at, guess what you're doing? You're moving away from the presence of God. Why are you moving away from it? Well, you're not doing it to just aggravate God or whatever. You're doing it because you haven't gotten to the place to where you can be still. Okay? Now, on inwardly, what are we doing? We are acknowledging who I am, who God is. And now that brings forth the ability to what? Witness. What am I going to witness? The judgment of God. Because when the confidence gets to the place where I'm still knowing who I am and I'm witnessing, I'm prepared to witness God's judgment. And what is that judgment going to be? Righteous judgment. Case in point, Jesus is asleep on the boat, and the waves are tossing and whatnot, and it's not bothering him. And at one point in time, I remember when some cousins took me out on the bay in Maryland, and I was waiting. We went out there to fishing. I get out there to fish, and by the time we got to the place where we were going to fish, I was so sick that I disappointed everybody. I said, y'all got to take me back. Because Earl, you know, and they were disappointed, but they took me back to shore. We like 2-3 miles out. They took me back, and I laid on the back seat of a vehicle for hours until they went out, fished, and came back. And guess how long I was sick? Over 6 months. That uneasiness. Now, Jesus is asleep in the boat, and he's not paying any attention to this. And we know why. Because of who he is. He's one with everything. And when the disciples are showing their displeasure, what does he say? He gets a little upset. He says, man, how long I got to be with y'all? When y'all going to speak as to who you are? You see, it's not what's coming at you that you need to stop. It's who you are within that stops it. And you wait for the righteous judgment. But you have to get to the place where you understand that this that is within you is greater than that's in the world. So your dependency is totally on that. Be still and witness the excellency of God. I hope that I've kind of set it up a little bit, because this is what we're living for. You may think that you're living to take care of a household, pay taxes, go on vacations, be, loving and friendly to relatives and friends. You may think that's what, put money in the bank, have insurance policies so that somebody won't be left here without anything. But like I told a guy, told a young lady this morning, I said, you get in a conversation with me, I can offend you real fast and not even be trying to do it. I don't set out to offend, but I can. Why? Because I understand how this thing works. Now, I may not be able to get out here and flip-flop and show you this, show you that, but I understand how it works. Be still and witness. We're talking about something internal. When you know that you know that you know. When the conductor gets on the train and he's trying to check tickets, if you got your ticket, what you going to do? I was coming from my house just yesterday, and as you know how you come from my house, you snake through these few curves to come down in the Welch. You can get up some nice little speed if you want to, and, think you're a kid and whatnot. I pop around the curve, and there's a cop sitting right at the bottom of the hill, got his gun pointed up the hill, and as soon as I saw him, I looked down at my speedometer. It was on 55. I said, I'm good. You see what I'm saying? I'm good. But what about the people who are coming down through there going 70? He got them. And they don't even have a chance to do anything. Be still and know the excellency that abides within you. Not out here. People are trying to get God to do something out there and then to be able to witness to it. See, be still and witness that God did blah, 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 and this is what he did. Yeah, you got to know I love the Lord. But as I had a conversation with a couple of y'all earlier, if God were to allow the fullness of Jesus Christ to rest in your consciousness, who could you tell? Who, you got a problem? Come to me. I'll heal you. Yeah, right. But the point is, the further in depth that we come to the understanding of our relationship with God, the fewer conversation we even desire to have with people, because we know where it's going to end up. So I would rather someone say, can you pray for me? Yeah, I'll give you help. That's it. It's like the revelation that I put on Facebook yesterday. How often does someone say to you, thank you for something that you did, or you say to someone, thank you? And it's just appropriate, isn't it? But did you not realize that when you say thank you, you are stating that the very request that had been made has been completed? So when someone comes to you and says, will you pray for me? Or when you go to someone and say, will you pray for me? And they say, yes, I will. Guess what? How you're supposed to walk away? Thank you. You're supposed to go, I ain't got nothing else to worry about. But how do we usually walk away? I hope their prayer gets through. You see what I'm getting at? Thank you means thank you. It's done. Be still and witness the excellency of God. This statement is given by the clergy, by the psychological, the psychiatry, the doctors. It's given with confidence. Be still and witness it. Witness whatever it is they're giving you, because they want you to know that you're being set free from whatever is causing your soul's displeasure. More so in the clergy. Be still and know I am God. Like I told somebody yesterday, I said, you can read these books and read these books and read these books and read these books. You know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out that person's revelation of what they believe God is. What's that going to do for me? If I believe them, I'm going to put myself to work to prove what they're saying, and I'm going to prove it to myself. That's the only battle that I now have, is me, overcoming me. And I know not to talk to people about it, because they're going to tell me why I can't overcome. So why would I put myself in that situation? But I am going to say, yep, I feel you. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I understand. As I contemplate the excellency of God, because he says if I contemplate it correctly, it is going to express itself in a fullness that will be so full. What would my cup do? runneth over. My cup runneth over. Who would not want the fullness of God to run over to the point where it touches other people? They don't need to know that it's coming from you. You are the only one that needs to know. So how does one put themselves in a position where they can be still and know when all about them is a plethora of chaos, confusion, and uncertainty? Think about it. You can't look out there and find peace anywhere, can you? You can't. So why are you trying to find it out there? The peace is within you. It's in the kingdom. We're born, and this is what really just gets you. You're born into an unknown experience. You didn't know anything about it. And when you come to some kind of awareness that you're living in a world that's got laws and people doing this and people doing that, it's usually through some negative something that happens to you that happened outside of the environment that you were born in. Because, see, your household is protecting you. And they're telling you do the right thing, and they're telling you always tell the truth, and they're telling you don't worry about it, you this, that, other. And you go out in the world and somebody does something to you, and all of a sudden you're going, what's this? How in the world can I find peace in something that doesn't care about me? How can I find peace when the person that's smiling at me is stabbing me in the back or withholding? How can I find peace in a world that stops me because of my skin color, because of my ethnicity, because of my intelligence, because of where I came from, the environment? How can I make it when mama and daddy told me everything was going, if I worked hard? And there's some people out there that won't even let me work. That's the world that we're living in right now. A world where Walmart says, y'all have to start paying for these bags. I'm going, what? I went in the store the other day and I said, well, you need to go tell somebody. They're going to have a mess on their hands with all these people that's going to be bringing their own bags in here. Hello? You better go talk to somebody. You better tell them I don't think they thought this one through. Or I'm going to start bringing back the bags you gave me that I was using for trash bags, and I'm going to lay 40 of them up on the counter and say, use these. Oh, well, we got to charge you. No, you ain't charging me for no bags. You got your mind. But the bottom line is we just sometimes don't think stuff through. We're living in a world where everybody's trying to get and nobody's trying to give. You need to understand that. And the only one that can give, guess who it is? It's you. That's what forgiveness is, to give for. Forgiveness. You are the only one that can forgive that person for believing that they have less than or they need to get this, when God is saying, I have provided everything. What was that thing you used to say all the time? Enough and to spare. I will give you enough to the point where you got stuff to give away. We are invited to enter into a relationship with our Creator. Oh, wow. This will fix it, right? And they give you all those rules and regulations you got to go through to get close to God. You got to wear this. You got to dress like this. You got to do this. You got to be in service. You got to be deaconess. You can't be no prophet. They give you all this stuff telling you that's going to get you close to God. When God is the one saying, you get close enough to me in your own closet. Where's your closet? Being still within. And he says, and I will give you a new name. So I don't need to call myself apostle. I don't need to call myself bishop, prophet, evangelist, teacher, or pastor. I just need to call myself ready to learn and let God do the judgment. But this relationship with God is supposed to make everything all right. How's that working for you? This, we are assured, will make life easier and will bring untold peace and harmony to our situation. Unfortunately, we find that this relationship is not easily attained. For those that are fortunate to hear and heed the inner call of the heart comes the real invitation. Come out from among them. Be ye separate. And how did the church world take that? Look at all of the different denominations we got. That's not what he meant. He simply meant come out from the people who are guided, influenced by the nature of this world out here. Come out from those who are still trying to build the Tower of Babel into heaven, which is a system out here that does not need God. Come out from among the people who live according to the five senses, and if you can't show me, I don't believe it. He says, come out from among them. Be ye separate from the belief of a world separate from the one I sent you from. When man comes to the realization, that God is one spirit, he doesn't have another spirit to pick from. He doesn't have this closet of would-be spirits and whatnot and dole them out. He picks from his spirit. And that's the spirit that he sent into expression. And he clothed it in a body. And then when he decided that he was going to express that, the fulfillment of the glorification or the what's the word I want? Authenticity of his being, he clothed himself to look like that spirit, that person, and then he came unto his own. And he displayed his excellency before his creation and said, whosoever believes on me, though he be dead, not laying in a casket, though he be dead, was dead, unaware of who he is, yet shall he live. He shall now be made alive. Made alive with what? Wisdom, understanding. A lot of people just don't seem to realize how Isaiah, if you go back and read the book, the whole book of Isaiah, at first reading, you'll think he's just talking about Jesus Christ till he starts talking about, and they shall repair the breaches, the walls. They shall have servants working for them. Wait a minute. When did Jesus have all this stuff? He didn't. He's telling you how glorious your life is going to be when you perceive that the one Spirit has come to the earth and has clothed itself as something we call mankind. And those that heed the call, those that hear the invitation, go into the secret place of the Most High, and they stay there until they are sent on missions. You just can't go out here and decide, God called me to preach. And then you go out and start preaching everything that everybody has preached before. No. If you go look at the life of Paul, you'll notice that when his name was changed from Saul to Paul, it says for 9 years was he separated until this revelation came to him. See, God's not calling people to preach. That'll get me in a whole lot of churches. He's calling people to come and learn who they are. That's it. Come and find out who you are. Once you find out, he'll decide whether he wants to send you out on a mission or to preach or whatnot. Paul goes and lives 9 years until the call comes. And when the call comes, then he goes on his missions. And I look out here and I see, look at I made the mistake. See, I'm not saying everybody that made a mistake. No, I made it. Because when I got the call, I didn't realize it was to come and find out who you are. I went and made my request known, and they tried to do what? Form me or conform me in their way of doing. And I immediately knew something was wrong, but I was in it. I was in it. But there was this call, be still and come and witness. Come all that are weary and eat of the hidden manna. Be still and observe the excellency by which the Creator provides for and cares for his creation. Why does God send a person on a mission? Right now I have two reasons. One is to glorify himself as God, and the second one is to pull that person out of the doldrums of error. Did you notice that God's not sending people to save people? You get my point? God wouldn't call me on a mission and send me to Jesus Christ, to save Jesus, to send me to Peter, to send me to Paul. He's going to send me to those who are anguishing and saying, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. But if I jump and go and tell somebody, it looks like you're suffering, I'm bringing truth to you, what are they going to do? Nah, man, who are you? But if I just be still and say, Lord, I'm good. If you don't ever want to do anything with me, I'm good. Just show me your goodness and your mercy. Is it possible to gain so much confidence in something that appears invisible to the senses, and yet its effects are clearly seen everywhere? See, that's something that causes you to stop, look. I can't see God, but I see the effects of God in the trees, clouds, gravity, physics. I see that. Why doesn't that stop me and cause me to say, how does this work? How is this doing this? I just assume that's just the way this is, right? But I want to be happy. We are told that our heritage is to walk in the glorification of God's wisdom. When we look at the Creator's ability, we bear witness to the Son Jesus as the visible image of that which goes unseen. Did y'all get that? You can't think about God without simultaneously thinking about Jesus. Whatever you think about God, you are automatically thinking that same thing about Jesus. By this, we need to go one step further. We also bear witness to that which we are. Why? Are you not joint heir? You can't think about God without thinking about Jesus, without thinking about yourself. It's impossible. Because you are joint heir to all that Jesus has. Joint heirs with all of the heavenly goodnesses and joys. I don't know if goodnesses is a word, but that's the one I just coined. Heavenly. Think about it. What if you walked around constantly saying, wow, the fullness of God is right where I am. It matters not what I'm looking at. It doesn't matter who said what or who rolled their eyes. The fullness of God is right there. Every situation I'm looking at God right there, because I'm giving now the ability for the excellency of God, the excellency of Jesus Christ, the excellency that I am, to make righteous judgment in that situation. Does God always judge righteously? Yeah. He has to. Like I tell somebody the other day, don't worry about standing too close to me and I say something and you look at me and expect God to blast me off the face of the earth. I said, he and we have an agreement. He said that he would come and correct me if I'm going off the wrong way. So he's going to correct you. And if I refuse to be corrected, just understand that if he blows me off, the shrapnel won't hit you. So we need to understand that God loves us so much that he only wants to do that which is righteous, and that's all he does. We must be still. We must realize that which we ponder, we are. I wish that I could get across to you that whatsoever is happening in your life, guess who is causing it? You are. Ain't nobody doing nothing to you. There are people that are shooting stuff at you, but it's how you respond to it is what shows up in your world. So if I say I hate you, and I look and I go, it's impossible for God to hate. I know that God is right there, and the only thing that can come to me is love. But I've been taught, well, I hate you too. I hate you more. You get my point. But when you realize that you are conscious awareness, you are an awareness that is able to shape and form. Where are you getting that from? Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was what? Void, without form. And God said, let there be. And all of these things begin to form. Now, if he made you in his image and in his likeness, who is forming the things that are appearing in your life? Oh, she don't like me. They don't like me. That company trying to get over on me. I remember when God sent a lady in my life and said, don't worry about the company trying to get over. It's over for them now. I'm like, what? She said, it's over. God sees your love, and as long as you can see your love for God, when you leave that company, they're going to be asking you to stay. Guess what happened? They were asking me to stay. But they was treating me like I don't know what along the way, but I stayed with what? It's over for them. I had a right to choose to be blessed or not. Which one you think I chose? You see, we must be still. You must understand that what you are thinking about, when you add feeling to it, there's your Adam and Eve. Stop looking at some man and some woman out here. When you come up with an idea, a thought, a conclusion, once you add feeling to it, guess what? You getting ready to meet that thing out there. It doesn't have a choice because you said, let there be. I know what I'm going to do next time I see them. What do you think that is? You see what I'm saying? Let there be. For as much as we are partakers of flesh and blood, that's why I asked you, why you think he sent Jesus down here looking like us? So we would accept him. If he came down here looking like something from Who Shot Dan, we'd be arguing, like, man, I ain't going over there with him. He crazy. No. He says, and the scriptures go as far as to say, as he is in this world, so are we. So what are you contemplating? Are you contemplating being a female? Are you contemplating being poor? Are you contemplating being without, hated? Jesus, he went through all those same things. As he is in this world, so are we. So what was he saying? The Father is with me always. The Father will never leave me nor forsake me. All that the Father has is mine. I come that you might have life. Are you contemplating that? Because if feeling some kind of way eases in on that, guess what? You're going to meet that. The abundance of God. It has to come. Why? Because he has given you the ability to shape and form your life according to the laws that make him him. And if you follow those laws, he said if you can't get to it, look at the life of Jesus Christ, because he did the same thing, right? And Jesus said, Lord, like somebody put on Facebook, Jesus is somewhere out there preparing a place for us. Come on. You actually believe that's all he got to do all day is build houses? He came dressed like us, that we would have no problem accepting him. But we did, didn't we? Had problems, and what did we do with him? Stuck him up on a piece of wood. We have partaken of his goodness and his godness and his fullness, that we should live to the praise of his glory. What's his glory? The glory of the Father as expressed through the Son. Be still and witness that which you represent. Don't get in your feelings because somebody called you a name or somebody stepped in front of you or took a parking place or lied on you. Don't get in your feelings. You got to remember who you are, who you represent, that God might be glorified. You don't glorify God. God glorifies himself as you, through you. People will say, I just get this kind feeling, this warm feeling being around you. Well, you ain't got to tell them that's God. Just let them realize. But the bottom line is, who is actually getting the witness of this? I am. I'm realizing this stuff works. I don't have to read it in a book. It works. Be willing to allow that which is called a kingdom to express itself, that we be no more tossed and dominated by the worries and wherewithal of this world, happenstance. To lose this life in exchange for that which was, is, and always will be. That's your only responsibility. Go ask Jesus, why was he here? Y'all know that one, don't you? Go ask God, why am I here? I'm here. And what's my purpose? If you are joint heir with Jesus Christ, what was his purpose? To do the will of the Father. It didn't go any further than that. What? Heal the sick, raise the dead, feed the poor, right? Lead people to, that's it. That's the only reason why you're here. And you can drive Maseratis and you can wear fur coats and Jordans if you want to, but the bottom line is, it's not for you to show off how good God's being to you materially. It's how good God's being to you internally, because you are being still and witnessing the goodness of God. And all these things will be added unto you. You can't live down here without the abundance of material good. But you don't set out to prove that God is materially taking care of you, and this is the proof. Shoot, I mean, the pimps got and the drug dealers, they got just as much. What I need with God. We are put here to witness one major thing. It's a thing that a man by the name of Father Divine used to call the spirit of the consciousness of the presence of God. That's all you hear. Once that snaps you, it's got you to witness the spirit of the consciousness of the presence of God. I and my Father are one. I know him. And the scripture even tells you, when that perfect is moved away, right now we look through a veil darkly, right? It says when the perfect comes, we will, get this, know as we are known. What? Yeah. God already knows you one way. And we're trying our best to get to a place where he knows us. And God is saying, I don't know you like that. I know you like this. You don't know you like this. When you know that one spirit is that one spirit, then you will know as you are known. And it's not when you get to some place with some pearly gates and some streets of gold and some crystal wall. It's now. It's here. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven has come upon you. So if it has come upon you, come on. Whose time and effort are you wasting trying to get your name on a daggone checklist that I went to church 52 weeks last year? No. To stop and realize that we are special, that we are lovingly known, to perceive the love that goes beyond all knowledge, to know that the love of God is not witnessed only in miracles and awesome displays of executed power, but simply to be quiet in the contemplation of the excellency from which we are originated. To accept this truth until the realization of sonships becomes us. And before the throne of grace, we are confidently filled with two words: thank you. That drive, if you can look at that drive and say, thank you, and know that God understands what you're asking, and he knows how to give it. He willingly gives it because it is his good pleasure to fulfill the desire of every living thing. He knows if I can just resolutely go, thank you. No matter what situation I get in. I don't care if it's a good one. I look at it and I go, thank you. And my mind is on him. That right there opens the doorway to the kingdom of heaven, and nothing shall separate me from that love. Why? Because my mind is stayed on him, and he will keep me at perfect peace, because that's his pleasure. This truly is the end of the search. Inwardly, we are at peace, being still and witnessing that only those that love the Lord can. Did y'all get that? It's a practice. Don't try to share it with other people. Don't tell them you're meditating, I'm praying, I stay in. Don't do that. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Keep it to yourself. And one day that same person may come to you and say, how are you doing what you're doing? Then you can say, I just love the Lord. You ain't got to go into no detail. I just love the Lord. I love him with all my heart. And he is a rewarder of who? Those that diligently seek him. I'm going to say it last, one more time. Inwardly, we are at peace, being still and witnessing that only that those that love the Lord can. be still and witness. God bless.